Hey guys, how's it going? So I've been really looking forward to seeing Oblivion in IMAX simply because I really love going to the IMAX. It's like nothing else. The sound is absolutely at its finest. The picture, the quality, everything's at its finest. And luckily, I have an IMAX very close to my house, so I can see all the major films in IMAX. And Oblivion was shot in almost entirely in IMAX, so it's a movie that really benefits if you see it in that format. So I've been really looking forward to seeing it in IMAX, and yesterday I went and I seen it in IMAX, and here's my review. Uh, I didn't have very high expectations going into Oblivion. Obviously, you guys know I don't watch trailers, and if you didn't, you know now I don't watch trailers. I like to go into everything blind. So I knew really nothing about this movie. I've heard it was like live action Wall-E. That's pretty much all I've heard about it. And so I was looking to go into it, looking forward to going into it. I've really enjoyed Tom Cruise's last few movies, Mission Impossible and Jack Reacher. I thought they were both fun action movies. And so yeah, I was actually really looking forward to this. And I gotta say, it's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. A few websites I really like said it was just, it looks good, but it doesn't have very good storyline. And I gotta say, I actually enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I will say that I think the second half is better than the first half, and I think a lot of people who don't like it don't like the second half of this movie. But I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was interesting, and I really was compelled by the second half of this movie more so than the first. The first part, it's not that it was too slow, because obviously some of my favorite movies are extremely slow, but I was really beginning to think it was getting repetitive. The first, I don't know, hour, 20 maybe, hour and a half, around there, the first hour, it was very just repetitive. It's the same things over and over again, and I think they could have cut 15 minutes or so out of there. Somehow, they could have done it. But I was beginning to lose a little bit of interest. But I think the second half really makes up for it. I think it was just good storytelling. Nothing really. It's very been there, seen that. I've seen some of these little storylines in other movies, but it didn't matter because I think it all kind of came together very nicely. I absolutely love the ending to this movie. I thought the last 10 minutes were just great. And there's a few little storylines, I'm going to mess up her name, but her name's Olga, the brunette in the film. I just didn't like her. I just don't like her really in anything. I've only seen her in a few movies, but I just don't like her. I wish they casted someone else that I would have liked, because something about her. I don't think she's a good actress necessarily, but it's more than that. I just don't like her. And she bothered me throughout the whole movie, and she's kind of like the main female character. I'd say there's two, but she's more so the main. And she just bothered me. And that kind of was one of the reasons why this movie's not higher grade. But her character, and I actually really liked the redhead. I'm not sure of her name. I'm very unprepared right now. But the redhead in the movie, if you've seen it, you know who I'm talking about. She looks kind of like a younger Julianne Moore. I liked her, and I thought Tom Cruise was great. I thought he was this is, out of the three movies, I think this is his best acted of the last couple years. I really liked him in this movie. Obviously, the visuals and all the all the visuals and the sound effects, all that were top notch. I usually am not a person who goes, "Oh, the visuals for this movie are amazing," unless they truly are great. And I think this movie truly is great. It kind of reminds me of Prometheus in the visual aspects. I think the visuals really are another layer onto the storyline. So they needed to have great visuals, and this movie definitely has them. I'm surprised that it wasn't in 3D, though. It seems like a movie that would definitely be in 3D, but it wasn't. So that was a little bizarre. What was I going to say? Oh, Morgan Freeman was in this, and I knew that, but I kind of forgot about it. And I'm not a huge Morgan Freeman fan. I like his great movies, but he just does too many blah movies sometimes for me to really appreciate him. And I thought he was good in this movie. I mean, you didn't really need to cast Morgan Freeman in it, but he was solid in the role. You could have casted anyone for that role, but he was solid, so that's a good thing. But yeah, I actually enjoyed this movie. Not much sure I can say much more about it. I'd say recommend it. I don't think the Rotten Tomatoes score, I think they're being a little bit hard because it's a science fiction film. It's from the guy who made Tron Legacy. And I honestly think because Tom Cruise had two good movies that came out in the last couple years, really good action movies, this one may not be as good. I think I like it just as much as Jack Reacher. But you know, they might not think it's that good, so they bring it down a little bit. But like I said, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I definitely rewatch it. It's a bit long. They could have cut some out of it, but it was still good. Tom Cruise is great, and the visuals are fantastic. So if you guys are interested in seeing Oblivion, check it out. If not, I think you should check it out regardless because it's just a fun action science fiction film. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. Like always, guys, thank you for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.